The NBA landscape has just been turned upside down. After spending 13 seasons with the Milwaukee Bucks, winning an NBA championship, earning 2 MVP awards, and cementing himself as the greatest player in franchise history, Giannis Antetokounmpo is officially headed to the Miami Heat. In a blockbuster deal that could reshape the Eastern Conference for years to come, Milwaukee is sending Giannis and Bobby Portis to Miami. In return, the Bucks receive Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Jakučionis, multiple first-round picks, a future pick swap, and additional draft assets. This isn't just another superstar trade. It's a move that could define the future of 2 franchises heading in completely different directions. So how did we get here? For several seasons, questions surrounded Milwaukee's ability to remain a championship contender. Ever since winning the NBA Finals in 2021, the Bucks struggled to recreate that same success. Playoff disappointments piled up, roster changes failed to deliver the desired results, and the team eventually found itself falling short of expectations. Reports suggested that Giannis had growing concerns about the organization's long-term direction. Despite Milwaukee's efforts to build another title contender around him, uncertainty continued to grow. The front office made coaching changes, adjusted the roster, and searched for solutions. But as time passed, it became increasingly clear that Giannis wanted a stronger path back to competing for championships.
Eventually, the Bucks were faced with one of the toughest decisions any franchise can make: hold on to a franchise legend and hope things improve, or trade him while his value remains at its highest and begin building for the future. Milwaukee chose the future, and Miami finally landed the superstar it had been pursuing for years. For the Heat, the appeal of this move is easy to understand. Their projected core now features Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jovic, and a supporting cast that can continue evolving throughout the offseason. But the biggest storyline is the partnership between Giannis and Bam. Together, they could form one of the most dominant defensive duos in basketball. Both players are capable of protecting the rim, switching onto smaller guards, and defending multiple positions at an elite level. Opposing offenses will have very few weaknesses to target against a front court this versatile. On the offensive side, Giannis immediately becomes the centerpiece of everything Miami does. For years, the Heat have searched for another true superstar capable of taking over games and carrying a team through difficult playoff moments. Now they have one. His ability to attack the basket, create pressure on defenses, and generate opportunities for teammates gives Miami a completely different level of offensive firepower. If the Heat can continue surrounding Giannis and Bam with enough shooting and depth, they could quickly emerge as one of the top championship contenders in the NBA.
But what about Milwaukee? At first glance, losing Giannis feels like a devastating blow. And in many ways, it is. You don't replace a player of his caliber. However, what Milwaukee received in return could accelerate a complete organizational reset. Tyler Herro arrives as a proven scorer and former All-Star who can immediately become one of the team's primary offensive options. Jaime Jaquez Jr. has already shown impressive versatility and toughness early in his career. Kel'el Ware possesses the physical tools and potential to develop into a long-term starting center. Meanwhile, Kasparas Jakučionis represents another young piece with upside for the future. Then come the draft picks. Multiple first-round selections, a future pick swap, and additional draft assets give Milwaukee something it hasn't possessed in years: flexibility. The Bucks now have the resources to develop young talent, make future trades, and build a new foundation for the next era of basketball in Milwaukee. Their projected young core includes Herro, Jaquez, Ware, Jakučionis, Miles Turner, and a collection of valuable future draft picks. Will that group compete for a championship next season? Probably not. But that's no longer the immediate objective. The Bucks are focused on building a sustainable future rather than chasing short-term success. Right now, Miami appears to be the clear winner in the short term. They acquired the best player in the trade and instantly become one of the most dangerous teams in the Eastern Conference. The long-term picture, however, is much harder to predict. If Giannis and Bam lead Miami on deep playoff runs and compete for championships, this trade could become one of the defining moves of the decade.
But if injuries, aging, or roster depth become problems, the Heat may eventually regret sacrificing so many young players and future assets. For Milwaukee, everything depends on development. If Herro continues producing at a high level, Jaquez takes another leap, Ware reaches his potential, and those draft picks turn into future stars, the Bucks may look back on this trade as the moment they successfully launched their next chapter. One franchise is betting on winning now. The other is betting on what comes next. Years from now, we'll finally know which side made the right decision. Until then, one thing is undeniable. The Eastern Conference may never be the same again.